Today, I am here to talk about a little something something, but more importantly, welcome, hello, thank you for being here. But anywho, yeah, I haven't recorded in a while, and I'm completely sorry about that. But what I want to talk about is not how sorry I am, but how to work with the body in a better way, in which I think is the main goal of what we all try to do on a daily basis, but we can't always put a fingerprint to it because it's a difficult thing to say the least. The relationship with the body comes in more than just a relationship with the body, but the relationship with the mind also affects the body. Like how psychological states can affect the body, so can other, I guess, triggers in which the body can affect the mind. Though once the body and the mind are in complete harmony, you come into a state which is more blessed to be, I guess, in equilibrium with the flow in which the world exists on. And being in equilibrium both in your body and in the world is a dance almost that not everyone kind of teaches in the right measure, let's say. Because take for instance, like school doesn't necessarily teach you how to flow with the universe or the world or even your community all that well. It just teaches you the fundamental things that someone ought to know to get around society, you know. And you could say, well, a byproduct of going to school is you learning how to operate in society in the most proper manners, which actually brings you to come in more closer contact with the world. Though I think we can all agree that, like, not all societies are in a state in which reflects the true resemblance of being in harmony with the world. It takes only that in which the community has to offer to kind of, like, you know, group you into a place where you're, you know, good with the community. But I mean, someone who's very comfortable in, let's say, Canada, probably going to China might be a big shock to them. You know what I mean? Society, you know, a country's a country, a place is a place. We're all going to have our differences. Though the one thing that we all have in common, aside from society, is that we all live on Earth, that we're all sharing the same planet. And by sharing the planet and coming into terms with your environment on a scale that's more physical, almost more primal, then you kind of get to view, I guess, the world and the dance of playing with the world on a higher level or a more encompassed level of actually attributing some of the, let's say, the places where you could be off balance, like your connection to nature. Because nature is such a crucial part of what I kind of started with, like trying to align the multiple parts and, you know, almost perspectives and spaces in which your human body and, like, you actually just develop and encompass, because that's, I guess, what a human body is in this life. But kind of going aside and jesting a little too much, as I like to do. I guess the central emphasis of me even bringing this up is for recognition and awareness to the situations in which we are in. And for me, in my intellectual brain, I suppose this gives me more clarity and gives me more sound, more grounding in the world, because then I can see a pathway forward, or at least an extension of a pathway forward, where some goodness can be achieved in actually creating a balance. Like, for instance, instead of purely trying to adhere to a social standard, now I tend to try to come in sync with nature more often. So you can actually find me outside, you know, walking with nature. Crazy thought, right? Or just, I mean, even intellectually wise, like, just like not disassociating into societal standards and knowing, like, well, hey, you know, I shouldn't jump off this cliff because someone else is doing this, you know, like that same sort of mentality. I should be like, well, you know, maybe I need to do what actually makes me come in balance. And with that recognition and that feet, you know, put in place, I suppose you just get better at finding your footing, knowing that there's something to achieve at least. So knowing that you have something you can go towards. And really, I just wanted to put that little bit out there for anyone else, because I know for me, I mean, it's a strange dance, yes. There's many, many things to consider, but knowing the balance and knowing that everything's in harmony within your being is such a good feeling, such a true feeling, such a pure feeling. It's something that you should strive towards. And I just wanted to speak that perspective shift towards you so that you could gain some of that perhaps insight. So you could also learn to incline or at least see forward. Because forward striving is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So let's continue to strive. Now I sound like a motivational speaker. That was not the intent I was going for. But I don't want to elude you or lead you astray either. So please do upward strive. Definitely I will be. But anywho, that's the end of this